Hey Soul Fam, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel, Spirit to Daosith. I'm your host, daosithlemay. I hope all you brothers and sisters, Soul Fam out there are doing good. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch this, and I hope it resonates with you and helps you. And if it doesn't, just leave it. These just happen to be my truths, mine alone. And for anybody who is new, if this does resonate with you, feel free to subscribe and check out my other social media platforms in the description box below. So I'm doing the energy update, and this is where I'll give you a little bit of energy insight and some messages as well as some visions for 2025, which I believe is going to be a very pivotal year for many of you guys going as we go through this year, especially for humanity itself. So before I go any further, go out, check out my book, Becoming the Creator, A Practical Guide to Spirituality Connection. I think this is really helpful, provide you a lot of different tools and exercises to help you through your own spiritual journey. You can find that on many online retailers like Amazon, Books A Million, or Barnes & Nobles, or go check out my website, spiritdaosith.com, and you can find more information about that. So again, here we are. We're entering into 2025, coming out of 2024, which the numerology of the 8. You can go out and check my old videos about that. It was a very intense, tremendous year. 2025 is a kind of like this big, I don't even want to say it's a crossroad. It's like the culmination, almost becoming like a node for us individually, but also collectively as humanity, even on this planet, for all of us to move into a different direction. And the Chinese astrology, this is the year of the snake, okay? The snake usually is associated with wisdom and charm and transformation. And people who are born under the sign are typically intuitive, they are intelligent, they are strategic. And a lot, when I'm talking about these adjectives, these words that are associated with this symbol, this usually means that there's been some level of learning, right? They've gone through some stuff. They have some wisdom, and they're going to be able to apply a lot of that as we go through 2025. It also has a level of this duality, right? You have the sense of the snake can be a protector, can bring an age of prosperity, etc. But it also has this other underlying tone when we think of snakes, right? It is sneaky, it is untrustworthy, etc. And it also has this idea of like being able to experience your reality and not being drawn into it so much, but also holding your boundaries, right? If you think about a snake being coiled up, right, it will allow you as so far into the reality until they decide to coil up and then hold up their boundaries. That's kind of what it feels like for this year in 2025, but also has a sense of this regenerative rejuvenation kind of sense idea when you think about a snake in its shedding its skin, right? We're shedding the old energy, the old realities, the outdated systems, and we are coming into basically a new mold, a new growth, if you will, of shedding the old skin and moving into something new skin for the snake. It gives me the sense of, also with regards to what we're talking about, the sense that many of us may experience many different realities in our own personal lives, and we could be walking through many different realities as well. Many different realities that are going to be on the spectrum, and you'll see a lot of heartache and turmoil and in issues financially, socially, etc. for a whole swath of the population. And then you'll see those who are able to move through with some ease and abundance and joy and bliss, right? This duality experience, this reality where we could be experiencing both things. One, we are observing it, and one that we are living ourselves. So I guess that really comes to the idea, it depends on you, and that's going to play out with a lot of the themes I'm going to be talking about. The numerology for the year is around the 9. If you've been following me, you guys know that the 9s are all about endings, closures. It's the ending out of something before the new can begin. It's where lessons have been learned through 1 through 8, and it is about expanding on those lessons so that you can move into your higher good, but also be of service to others, whether that be a energetic service to others or actual physical service to others through helping them out, whatever it may be, which is going to be a theme as we go through in 2025, right? The 9 is also highly correlated with death. Death is highly connected to this number. It is typically, and because of the ending of the Trinity, right? The 3, the 6, and the 9, we find ourselves collectively as well as individually with the idea of death bringing about a lot of these endings and closures. Now, it could manifest in terms of physical death of one's life, but also as terms of death of the ego, death of the social structures that we have, death of something coming to an end, and or at least a closing out of an aspect of us, or a collective closing out of something for something new to begin. That doesn't mean it's easy. It usually means that it comes about with a lot of challenges for us to go through, to say the least, to understand who we are, to take the lessons that we have learned through 1 through 8, and to apply them in this closing out session so we can find ourselves moving into a different direction, one that aligns with what we want, the one that aligns with more empowerment, more peace, more connection, etc. for us as we go forward. So naturally, when you come into these kind of years, the numerology of the 9, we got to ask ourselves these questions: What lessons have been brought about our reality in the last 8 years or so? Where can we move forward and learn from these things, from what we've experienced, and be of service to others as well? What parts of your life have caused so much resistance in your life that need to really come to an end so that you can move forward? Bring a death to that cycle and move forward. Where can you drop the luggage, the baggage, the old labels, the stories that don't fit you anymore, and move forward in the new you, one that is higher aligned with feeling more lighter, more peace, more joy, connectivity in your life, right? That's what this year is going to be about, all right? In this 9 numerology year, I expect, as we go through our collective experience, that the world as we know it, as we have experienced it, is going to change right before our eyes. Like the old system, the old guard is or has collapsed. It may give the illusion that it's still running, but I'm going to tell you right now that it is basically going to collapse or has collapsed for us so that the new energy can move forward. I talked about this in my last energy update regarding a dream. Check that out. It's basically saying like the old stuff doesn't work anymore, and there you'll start to see the new things coming into play, new structures, new beliefs, new whatever. And already we're starting to see so much happening collectively in our world, on the world stage. If you watch it, it almost feels like a sci-fi movie that's happening. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. The old structures that were aligned with what we thought the world was and what we have attached to is crumbling. And the longer you hold on to that, the old stories of who you are, the old stories of whatever it is, it's going to drag you down and make it very difficult. And it's up to you to choose how you want to move forward. That's what this year is going to be about. And to ask yourself these questions about what are the lessons? What have I learned about myself? Where can I be more empowered? How do I stand in my divinity and make choices in a mature way to create the reality that I want for myself and for the collective? That's what this year is going to be about. That's what the 9 numerology is going to bring for us. That's the energy that's going to go forward for 2025. It's interesting because as well, the current elect president, Donald Trump, keeps talking about this golden age for us here in the U.S. at least, but I think he's also experiencing and conveying that to the world, that we're stepping into the golden age. And that's like, crypto, AI, all sorts of things. And this isn't financial advice by any means, but they're all essentially a lot of it from an abundance standpoint that seems to align with a lot of the things I've talked about so far with regards to the year of the snake and the numerology of the 9. There are no such things as coincidence here, folks. And the words that he's using and the energy we're moving around, there are no such things as coincidences. And it's just something to think about as you go forward with 2025. All right. Major themes. There are 3 major themes I think are going to play out for us collectively as well as within your life. And the first theme is going to be this idea of maturity of mind and emotion. This is a masculine energy that comes in this year that brings about the energy of maturity and learning from your lessons, learning from the previous 8 numerology cycles so that you, as a divine creator, as an empowered being, to be assertive and creative and to be in alignment with what you want going forward. Know your domain. This is an energy, a masculine energy that knows its domain, that wants to be confident and wants to move forward with poise and mastery. Isn't that how many of you guys want to go forward, right? To know who you are, to know your domain, to be able to step forward with confidence and to create what you want. This is mastery that comes to my mind, and it's going to be tested and it's going to be executed for many of you going forward in 2025. So don't be shy of your power. Don't be shy of who you are. Let it shine and use it to create what you want for 2025. It doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be like this constant butting your head against something and trying to force a square box into a circle hole. It doesn't need to be that way. It just needs to be you standing in alignment with who you are and commanding from the universe and your energy in a place where it can be used to something that's productive for you and your higher good. Something that takes your energy, your passion, the wisdom, and hone it into something productive for you, which ultimately will send that out into the reality, into the collective as well. Hopefully allowing people to go through all this strife, these extremes, so that they can finally step into their own power, use their maturity, be solid and emotionally intelligent, so they can use that energy and create in something that is in better alignment for themselves as well and for the collective. Okay, I say this because I think there's going to be a lot of things in our reality that are going to be shaken. The old guard is going to fall. And this is going to be a shaking for a lot of the collective who have been really full in on this human experience, on this experience that we've had up until now. There's going to be like parallel realities that are all playing out at once. And this feeds into the theme that I'll talk about shortly. But this feeds in the upcoming theme. But you got to know who you are, what you are, why you are the way you are, and to be solid in that to create what you want going forward. You can't create a reality when you're like, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want, all this other stuff. This is a year that's going to happen. You're going to know who you are. You're going to stand in that light. You're going to stand with confidence, and you're going to make those decisions, and you're going to create with the sense of maturity for your higher good. So with regards to these realities, they're going to be all sorts of different people at different levels creating these different realities, and it's up to you to choose which one you want to play in. Which one do you want to go with? Do you want to go with going down the road of separation and chaos and anger and get sucked into all the political bullshit and all this other stuff that's happening out there, right? Is that what you want? You're the creator. That's up to you. Or do you want to say, I'm going to go look at this as like a master. I'm going to take the lessons that I've had over my life. I'm going to find my power. I'm going to find the love in the moment. I'm going to transmute this for my highest good and create what I want and what I want for the collective going forward. That's what I'm talking about with regards to this energy for 2025. You will have experiences for a lot of us that are going to force us into our mastery. Some of us won't be able to do it as quite nice and clean, and some others will have ability to do that with ease and transition. But for the most part, this energy is going to come about to force you to get into that state so that you can be in command of your own energy, so that you are a master of your own reality. All right. That's in alignment with the numerology of the year, right? Numerology of the 9. It is the ending, to gain the wisdom from what you've gone through and how you can be of service to yourself and to others in mastery, to usher in the new age for a new beginning for you yourself as well as collectively. All right. I'm reminded of this conversation I had with someone recently, and about how one's life is basically run by fear. All their decision making that they had in their life was based in fear. Fear of being ridiculed, fear of not being good enough, fear of being this, fear of that, fear, and more fear. Every decision about their life was about making a decision because they feared something and they wanted to avoid that. How many of you are like this? How many of you go about your day being fearful of what you may feel, what others may think of you, what failure of whatever, the fear, and that's what leads you through your life. Think about your own life. Is this you? And if this is you, think about how different your life could be if your decisions were based in love instead. Love of doing something, love of being, love for another, love of oneself. How drastic your life in your reality would be if you made decisions based on love rather than fear and trying to avoid whatever that outcome that you fear. That's maturity. That's standing in one's power. That's maturity, emotional intelligence. That's being balanced. That is what is going to transpire for a lot of us in 2025. And remember that love is expansive. Love is connection. Love is whole in healing. And that's what brings us to the next theme, which is community and connection for 2025. My sense is that the collective is going to be impacted by lots of things. Energetic, emotional, physical, etc. These things are here to help bring a closure. Although it doesn't feel like maybe they're not ending, it's usually the last gasp of air before they close out. And that last gasp of catching of a breath can be very extreme. And this may include a lot of earthly changes, a lot of social constructs that will fight tooth and nail to stay alive. But this will help bring a lot of people together. There's nothing like heartache that causes the human to reach out for connection, to reach out for one another, to reach out for the creator within and the creator all about. So I also say this with regards to what's happening out. You'll see a lot of people going through things that perhaps they'll reach out for community. You'll see a lot of more community kind of things happening. People coming together as community as a whole. Areas are affected by things, etc. But I also say this within our own lives as well. And I'm guilty of this as well. And the Great Spirit or the Great Oneness, God, whatever you want to call it, sees us as being very distracted and disconnected at the moment. Collectively, we're seeing that. But even personally, within our own lives, within even my life as well, like I said, I'm guilty of this as well, even in our own home, right? Even with our own home, we can be literally sitting in a room with our other friends and family right next to each other, and we can be so far distracted and disconnected from them because we have our face stuck into our cell phones, right? Looking at what's happening in the world, getting sucked into the stories, feeling more disconnected from ourselves, but also disconnected from those who are literally sitting right next to us, right? When we could just drop the phones, drop the stories, and find the time to connect with ourselves and our friends and our beloved more than what we have at this moment. How many of us right now collectively have just, even within our own families, have strife going on between us because we are tied to what's happening in the world with politics, with race, with gender, all these extraneous, separate agendas getting you to get small and in fear, to separate you within your own household, that you could be sitting right next to somebody, and yet emotionally, mentally, and connecting wise, you're so far, you've never been more far apart. The Creator is asking us. The Creator is asking us this year to reconnect with what's really true and loving for you and your friends and your family. To reconnect with Source within, to reconnect with your friends, to reconnect with family. Be present with yourself, to be present with your friends, your family, and those that you love. Be it with community, be it with your own house, with your extended family. Reconnect, be present. Okay? What you could find, what we'll start to see in 2025, my guess is a lot of community-based stuff coming together, and expansion of our hearts, right? Expansion of our hearts as we expand our love, our commitment to one another, all these things, which can have a tremendous transformational energy that can impact the world beyond than you can ever imagine. All right. So I say that because there really are so many things out in the world that's trying to keep you in fear, to try to separate you, to try to keep you fighting, to keep you small, to keep you disempowered, to keep you in fear, to keep you feeling so disconnected from yourself and everybody else, even though they're sitting right next to us. And that will just continue to be reflected out in your world, or put down some of those things that you can't control and find, as Source asks us, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with Source within, reconnect with God, whatever it is, reconnect with your friends, your family, the community you belong in, and you will see drastic changes occurring in 2025. And it's going to be needed. There are a lot of things I feel are going to be coming up that's going to force the change of the guard, that's going to shatter people's paradigms. And you'll see as the new comes through, if you are a tight-knit community, connected with family, not being caught in the maelstrom of all that nonsense, you will find a strong bond will help you get through these times. All right. This leads us to the last theme for the 2025, and it's about choices. Choices, and that is all up to you. This is really about you and your power. It's everything I talk about in regards to my book. It's everything I talk about in all my videos. It's all about empowerment and connecting to Source and understanding who you are, and what your power is. And then this year, specifically for 2025, this is where it all starts and this is where it all begins. Your reality is waiting on you. If you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling like you're not in where you want to be, you feel like this, and none of it's what you want, well, guess who you need to point the finger at here, folks? You need to point it at you. You need to point at you, and you need to do the work to understand that all your best decision making has gotten you where you are. If you are where you are and you're not happy with that, then you need to ask yourself the questions: what is going on with me? What do I need to do to change things around? Right? Go get my book, read through that. That will help you understand more about what's happening in you and why your reality is the way it is. Things need to change. And if you're up here waiting for the world to change, it ain't gonna happen, folks. Change starts with you. You are the hero, you are the savior, you are the change that you are waiting for. And 2025 is going to be the pivotal year for you to do that. All right? As I mentioned above with all these other themes, right? These are all choices to vibrationally align with something that is so great for you, so great for the future of you, mankind, our species. But if you choose to meander, to explore in the realms of fear with all the disconnection and all the low vibrational stuff, so be it. That's your reality. That will be the hailstorm that you will be in ties with. That will be your reality. But there is another reality that you can align with. Another you that holds so much potential, so much love, and so much unity to steer the course for all of us into a golden age, a beautiful time where there's unity, connection, love, and where we feel we're all together on going forward. This also includes you in your love for yourself, self-love. The choice for you to face your own fears, to heal yourself, that is an empowered choice. That is a tremendous choice to really take the time and say to yourself, I am going to get to the root of what is going on with me. And say to yourself, I no longer choose this for myself. I choose differently. I choose love. I choose to reconnect with God, oneness, the Great Spirit, whatever it is, to honor that presence within you, to know your connection with that. Whatever it is, that is a tremendous, ultimately one of the greatest choices you can ever make. It is a powerful choice, and it's up to you. It's only up to you. And through that choice, you'll be sending out ripples of vibration, of energy and love that will ultimately lead others who want help and connection to reach out to you, to see your light and say, how are you finding this level of calmness with what's going on in the world? Tell me, how are you doing that? That is what's going to happen when you make empowered choices as you go forward. And it's up to you to do that. You'll be the light and their guide in their time of need, all by making the choices powered of love for you going forward in 2025. All right. Excuse me. A lot of that is going to happen in 2025. Where many of you will be forced to no longer hang upside down waiting for the world. You're no longer going to be able to sit on the fence. You're going to have to make the choice. What is it going to be for you? What is it that you want, right? What is it that you desire for yourself? Is it peace? Is it love? Is it abundance? Is it all these things that you've been asking that your reality does not have at this moment? And then you're going to be called upon through the energies of the astrology of the Chinese calendar, of the snake, the numerology, the maturity and the emotional intelligence, the community, the love, all that stuff. It's going to force you to make a choice, fear or love. And I hope for your sake, for more peace and joy and connection and sovereignty and empowerment, that you choose it based on love and to go forth and to create that for you. I leave you with this vision in terms of what 2025 could be like. I had a vision in dream state. I saw beings drawing upon an energy to invoke basically a demonic force upon this planet. It was being called forth to basically wreak havoc upon the earth, to draw those who aren't in alignment with all the things I just talked about, so that it could it could draw that energy and feed it and consume and create ultimately a reality that generates the majority of humanity into that direction. It was then that I saw myself standing in love, filled with power, filled with light and energy of knowing my connection to God, knowing my connection to Source, the great oneness, that in that presence, the being, the energy, the darker force itself fled from my presence. May your light shine so brightly that no darkness, no shadow can stay. It is through the choices of which I have presented here in 2025 that my feeling is that if you choose to go through and play around with the other energies, the forces that are at play are trying desperately to get you to that place. Think of the old guard falling, the last fight. They want that energy, and it is upon you to choose differently. That sovereignty within you is there for you to stand within your power, that these forces, these agendas have no chance to entrap humanity into a lower vibration. I love you. I wish you all the best in 2025. I'll continue to do videos as we go along, and as well as things to help you with regards to your chakras and manifesting, etc. I just want to let you know that it's up to you, and we are all relying and expecting the best from you, and know that no matter what, you are loved. And I guess we'll see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.